by the events that occurred. This isn't shown as much in other trailers, as both of the genders are normally shown to be scared, but because the cast is dominantly female, this was hard to display. The male character is stereotypically shown as masculine and the protector, which is shown in the Sinister trailer. This is shown through the pastor character that tries to heal the boy from the demon. I didn't follow the convention of including an elderly character for the character of the fixer, which the trailers such as Sinister, Insidious has along with the possession. Instead, I developed this convention by including a much younger pastor. This is done to relate to the youth more and go against the general stereotype that the youth are not knowledgeable and cannot take responsibility. I went against the conventional idea of white race in supernatural horror, and I challenged this as I included an all-black cast. When completing my research, there was very little information on ethnic minorities included in supernatural horror films. However, in the only horror films where you actually would see them were slasher films such as Scream or the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The stereotypes that black characters in horror are added in as a token black character, which is why they tend to die first in slasher films. I wanted to challenge this stereotype by creating an all-black cast without any stereotypes related to race. This is a unique selling point for the trailer, as there isn't any trailers like it. The use of a child as their protagonist to an antagonist is something I researched during my planning stages and found that this was very conventional, as it has a big effect on the audience due to the innocence and vulnerability which people relate to children and the binary opposite it creates when they are portrayed as evil. Because of this, I wanted to use this convention which films like The Possession, Insidious and Sinister all include. I used this shock scare factor at the end of the trailer, which is a common convention of supernatural horror films such as Sinister. This shock scare factor tends to come after the tension building montage has then ended and gone quiet for a couple of seconds, and then the shot then comes in, or sometimes like in Sinister it comes straight after. So I chose to do it a couple of seconds after, even including some screen text in front of it in order to trick the audience to allow them to think that the trailer is finished. However, a shot of the little boy in the stage of possession running towards the camera was then shown at the end with a loud scream in order to scare the audience. I use shots such as bird eyes view, close-ups, long shots, medium close-up shots throughout the trailer. This is very common in a convention which I followed of supernatural horror, as they tend to use a variety of shots in order to get their message across. These shots helped with the different representation of males and females. There are 2 male characters and 3 female characters. They all follow the typical representation of the genre. The idea of the protector, masculinity and strength is shown through the pastor. The idea of vulnerability, caring and weakness is shown through the female characters, as they are seen asking for help and also caring for Ben by coming to his rescue when something went wrong. The idea that children are vulnerable is also shown through Ben, as only a vulnerable or weak soul can allow a demon in. When it comes to supernatural horror, these stereotypes of characters is something which is conventional to make identifying characters more easy. Supernatural horror emulates real life through using pans, tilts, handheld shots and first-person filming, which makes the audience feel like they are part of it. I use these conventions when Ben is seen walking up the stairs, the shot in the hallway, which is a handheld first-person shot. However, I also included more professional shots, such as still shots when the female character is on the phone. This allows the audience to view it to view the trailer from an outside perspective and from an inside perspective, as in some shots they are put in the position of the character, and in other shots they're put as an outsider. So this allows them to emphasize with some of the characters, and it allows them to have an objective view. The conventional use of drain colours is something which I used in my trailer. Throughout the colours were seen to be quite dull, with the lighting contributed to it, which added a little bit more colour. However, after this first montage and onto the second montage, I drained the colours a lot more using the 3 colorway editing function on Final Cut. So this is something I did in order to change the mood completely and to create a different Enigma code. Trailers such as Insidious do this very well. From the start of the trailer, in Insidious you see that the colours are pretty much drained. The sound which I included in the trailer included a soundtrack, non-diegetic sound effects, things, contraptional sound, and voiceovers. These sounds are all common when it comes to supernatural horror trailers. The use of a subtle soundtrack which plays through the trailer contributes to the Enigma code and the sinister mood. Trailers like The Orphan, Sinister, and Insidious display this well. The use of non-diegetic sound effects is a major part of sound in making a supernatural horror film trailer scary, as they rely on this due to the demon never really fully being shown, or there being a major antagonist. Because of this, they rely on the unknown to scare the audience. I used a lot of different sound effects to help create this, with shots and sounds like screams and thunders and etc. When it comes to sound effects, I also tended to layer the sound effects a lot in order to create something which is more effective. Another thing which contributes to this is the use of stings in different areas. Lastly, I used contraptional sound, which was mainly voiceovers of dialogue. This was a way of explaining what was happening in the trailer without showing the actual scene. By adding voiceovers over different shots, it tends to be more effective. This is used in Insidious trailers when the fixer speaks, and is also shown in the Conjuring trailer. One more convention which I followed was that I layered a lot of these different types of sounds together for the ultimate effect. This is a very common thing of the supernatural horror genre to do. This was especially evident during times of help and telling the audience that there was something wrong, or during the times of the montage and prayers, which during the prayers I copied the soundtrack and then moved one of them back a bit just to create the echoing effect. The star rating on the film is something which I challenged, as this is something that can be seen in social realism films. However, I included a review with stars from the Total Film magazine, which included the promotional cover of my trailer. This is a good way of linking the media products, and also something to attract a secondary audience who may feel like they need more convincing by a highly respectable source. As this isn't common, this can be viewed as the unique selling point of the trailer. I followed the convention of using a billing block at the end of the trailer. This was in the front style, steel tongs. It includes no effects such as fade transitioning in order for it to look professional and important. The billing block looks very professional, as it is presented in white text on the black background. I included a hashtag Devil's Territory to be used throughout social media network sites such as Twitter. This allows the trailer to be seen by a larger demographic, not just the primary target audience, which is a great way of viral marketing. This isn't something I would say is conventional, but as technology has advanced and social media has become more important in people's lives, it's something that all genres have included for marketing purposes. A specific release date was not included on any of my media products. On the poster and the trailer, they both stated that the film was coming soon. This helps create a buzz for the release date. By including a hashtag at the end of my trailer on the billing block, it allows the audience to tweet about the film using the hashtag, and also for them to go out and complete research to then find out when the film is actually coming out. So this was a way of bringing more exposure to the film and attracting a larger audience. The screen text includes the same typography in two colors, white and red, on the black background. On each of the screen text, one of the words are displayed in red, as that is the most important word, which needs emphasis on it. The title of the film is then displayed in the red color to show the importance. This is an idea I have developed as normally the screen text is in supernatural horror does have a consistent style, however, with one solid color. So in a way, this is developed. I use the same font style, Charlemagne STD, and each screenshot was only used for about 3 to 5 seconds, as some of them included more text, which meant that it needed more time for the audience to read it. There was also a difference in size of font. For example, the title of the film was displayed in a bigger font to show its significance. Due to the style of the screen text being very diverse in supernatural horror, it is hard to tell if I followed the convention or not. The institutional use in the trailer is very conventional, as I used the company's Stage 5, Blumhouse, and Film District. These are all three much respected business companies in the supernatural horror industry. Film District has produced and distributed films such as Insidious and The Evil Dead. These are supernatural horrors. Due to the success of Insidious, the company have gotten big and well known by the audience. This is a well-known horror film distributor and production company. Stage 6 Films is a production company which has produced a lot of films from different genres, such as comedy, which producing the film Jumping the Broom, and as well as Insidious, which is a supernatural horror film. Blumhouse Company is a production company which has produced films such as The Grudge, Insidious, Sinister, and Paranormal Activity. This is a very popular and well-known company. Overall, the use of big conglomerate companies is very common in supernatural horror, as it is hard to create the scare factor without the high-tech technology which is needed in order to do so and to have the biggest impact and effect.